Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Andrew coming back at you with another podcast episode. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Jaguars 2021 53-man roster and some of the cuts. But before we get into it, as always, if you want to show your support for the channel, hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon if you want updates on latest content. Okay, so the Jaguars 2021 53-man roster was announced this week. A lot of thoughts on this, some things that were kind of head scratchers to me, but we'll get into that. Let's jump into the roster. I'm going to kind of go rapid fire here, and I'll give you my thoughts on some of the roster decisions and then some of the cuts. So let's get into it. At quarterback position, Jaguars took two quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, of course, no surprise there, and C.J. Beathard, who had a good preseason, and he gets the job following the Minshew trade. So we go to the running back position. Jags took three players at that position. James Robinson will be the starter. Carlos Hyde will be third down back probably, or backup, and then Dari Ogunbowale. So the thoughts on Carlos Hyde. He doesn't do much for me. I don't think he brings much to this roster. I just think he's likely just a friend of Urban Meyer's. He played for him at Ohio State. So, I would have rather taken Devon Hamilton in that spot. But unfortunately, Hamilton got cut, and I think they're going to try to bring him onto the practice squad. So, Dari Ogunbowale, again, I would have been fine with Devon Hamilton taking his spot. I don't think he's, anything spectacular for the Jaguars, but he's just kind of a backup, third down back that we have. So that is who we have at running back. At wide receiver, we took five players. DJ Chark Jr., no surprise there. Laviska Shenault Jr., what can I say? Great preseason. I think people are very, very excited to see what he can do in the regular season. Marvin Jones Jr., who we signed from Detroit, no surprise there. Jamal Agnew, this one, I would have rather seen somebody take, or rather get his spot. Again, he's a specialist. I didn't see him do much in preseason. I don't think he brings much to this roster personally. Urban Meyer seems to be kind of dead set on improving special teams for the Jaguars. Really only thing I can see to improve the Jaguars special teams is getting somebody who's a consistent place kicker or a backup. And we signed somebody recently this week. I don't remember. It might have been a punter, not a kicker. But anyways, regardless, Jamal Agnew, I think he probably should have been cut. I would have taken Cotton Jr. or maybe like Laquan Treadwell or somebody else. But that one was kind of a head scratcher. Taven Austin, and that one, he had a great preseason. So awesome to see him, win that fifth spot on the roster. All right, we go to tight end. We took three players. Chris Manhertz, no surprise there. James O'Shaughnessy, and then Luke Farrell, the rookie from Ohio State that we drafted. We also did sign somebody in free agency this week, but I will be doing a separate episode on that. But three tight ends, and then soon to be four with that free agency addition. And then we go to outside linebacker, eight players taken at that spot. Or excuse me, offensive line, not outside linebacker. Cam Robinson at left tackle, Andrew Norwell at left guard, Brandon Linder at center, Jawan Taylor at right tackle, Tyler Shatley, who plays center and guard, Walker Little, the rookie from Stanford, and then Will Richardson Jr., backup left tackle / guard, and then the Smoothie King, Ben Barch at guard. So really no surprises there. That's everybody who I would have thought would make the roster. So, I don't think there's... A.J. Cann, I forgot to mention, is on the COVID-19 reserve list, so he'll be activated. So he will likely be the ninth offensive lineman on the roster. All right, so we go to defensive ends. We have outside linebackers. We have five. Josh Allen, who's on COVID protocol right now. Kayvon Chaisson, first rounder out of LSU. Then we have Laurenti McCray, Jordan Smith from UAB, who we drafted, rookie, and then Aaron Patrick, who had a great preseason. I believe he had a sack or two in these preseason games. So that was nice. Congrats to Aaron Patrick for snagging that roster spot. And we go to defensive tackle. We have 9 defensive tackles. I'm kind of combining them because like Jacksonville kind of broke it down in a weird way on their roster. But we start off with Devon Hamilton, a second year out of Ohio State. No surprise there. Great player, a lot of potential. Malcolm Brown, free agent that we signed from New Orleans in the offseason. Jay Tufele, rookie out of USC, who had a pretty good preseason. Daniel Yucale, this one was kind of a head scratcher. I didn't see him do much in the preseason, so I don't know why he got the spot over Doug Coston, who I thought probably should have gotten that spot as opposed to Yucale. But there are plans to bring Doug Coston back on the practice squad. So more to come from that. Robertson Harris, free agent that we signed out of Chicago. Jihad Ward, free agent we signed from Baltimore. And then Taven Bryan, this one is a real head scratcher to me. Like, why the heck did this guy get a roster spot over like a Doug Coston? Like, this guy really, in my opinion, is a bust out of Florida. We drafted him in the first round. I believe it was in like either 2017 or 2018. I don't remember. But, yeah, I mean, he was out of we didn't see him at camp for a little bit. He kind of got a late start there. I didn't see him do anything in the preseason, so I don't know why they're giving him another shot. Maybe it's just because he's from Florida and Urban Meyer is friends with him. I don't know, but that's a big head scratcher for me. DeJuan Smoot, no surprise there. Re-signed in the offseason, had a pretty good year last year, and glad to see him back. Adam Gotsis, the Aussie, always glad to see him back. He had a good preseason, made some tackles for a loss, and I think he's a good depth defensive lineman. We go to linebackers. We had 5 that we took. Miles Jack, no surprise there. Damien Wilson, free agent that we signed from Kansas City. He'll be playing weak side. Chappelle Russell, who I didn't know much about, and I guess he had a pretty good camp. Shaq Quarterman, you guys know him from Miami. He'll be a nice depth linebacker. Had him on the show. I think he also made a presence on special teams, so that was pretty nice to see. And then Dakota Allen, so it's nice to see him make the roster as well. No surprises really there from the linebacker spot. Quincy Williams did end up getting cut. I believe he was a third rounder, I think, from Murray State, or I may be getting that wrong. But yeah, he was cut. He didn't have a good preseason, didn't look good. I wasn't surprised that he got cut. So we go to the cornerbacks position, took 5 players at that position. C.J. Henderson, first rounder out of Florida. Glad to see he kind of made a comeback, and he didn't have a very good camp to start out with. He was, I believe he was on the COVID reserve list, and then there was some concern about whether he wanted to be in Jacksonville and wanted to be traded. But it seems like, he had a really good preseason. So nice to see him back on the roster. Shaq Griffin, free agent we signed from Seattle. Little bit kind of the jury's still out on him. I don't know. He didn't have a very good preseason in my opinion. Got burned in that New Orleans game in coverage. Gave up 2 big touchdown passes. So more to hopefully better play will come from him. But Chris Claybrooks, don't understand this one at all. I just don't know what he did that was really spectacular in the preseason. Last year, he was kind of a disaster on special teams. Not that great in coverage, so I would have probably taken somebody else, maybe like a James Houston or Lorenzo Burns, give them a shot. But yeah, I don't know why, or even maybe just keep Sidney Jones in his place. Some people say he plays special teams, but I mean, like, I don't know. There's this huge emphasis on special teams, and I'm scratching my head. I just think the rules have been changed. It's not as important. It's important, but not as important. Really, my concern is the place kicking and the punting, and we have a good punter, Logan Cook, but Lambeau's been a little inconsistent and missed some field goals in the preseason, so I'm a little concerned about that. But not concerned about our return guys. I think it would be fine. But then we go to Tyson Campbell. We drafted him out of Georgia. I think he's a project. Had some struggles during the preseason, but I think it's just he's a rookie. He's got to get the experience and learn. Trey Herndon made the roster. Don't understand this one as well. I think again, if we wanted to keep Claybrooks, I would have just said let's keep Sidney Jones and cut Trey Herndon. I don't think he makes the roster better. I would have even say like let James Houston or Lorenzo Burns take his spot. He's I don't know. It's bad. It's like penalties. At the worst time, he gets beaten coverage last year. It just didn't look good. So I don't know why they brought him back. Kind of a head scratcher. We go to safety position. We go to that position. 5 players the Jags took. Rayshon Jenkins, no surprise there, signed him in the offseason from the Chargers. Rudy Ford, that one's kind of a head scratcher. He's a special teams guy, but again, I don't know why. I don't know why we would keep him, on this roster. I don't think he's that much of an impact player. I would have kept like a Jared Wilson. Daniel Thomas, he's I think a project. Showed a lot last season. He can play special teams too, so I don't know why they decided to keep Rudy Ford, but that was the decision that was made. Andre Cisco, rookie out of Syracuse. I like this. He looks like he's got a lot of potential. I'm really excited. He reminds me of Donovan Darius, who also went to Syracuse. The guy can tackle. He's good in coverage. He's got a little bit to learn, I think, that this being his rookie season, but I like that. I like that roster spot given to him, and I think he's going to be an impact player. Andrew Wingard, this is a head scratcher. This guy, he's terrible. He is, a guy that will get you penalties and hurt you at the worst times. He can play special teams, but I would have rather given this, spot to Jared Wilson. I don't understand why they brought him back, but anyways, that's my opinion on it. We go to the specialists. 3 players on the specialist team. Logan Cook, punter. No surprise there. This guy's great. He's been phenomenal. So really no surprise there. I'm glad he's back. Josh Lambeau. Again, Josh Lambeau's got to get it together. I don't know what's going on with him mentally, but he missed some field goals in the preseason, so he's got to get it together and just focus more and just deliver on those kicks and make those kicks. And then Ross Matisic, the long snapper, nice to see him back as well. All right, so we go into the cuts. I'm not going to talk about every single cut, but I want to talk about some of the standouts. One being Tim Tebow at tight end. Why was this guy here? He didn't even play the last 2 preseason games. I mean, it sounds like he wasn't even close to making the team. So why does Urban Meyer decide to bring him on? I think it was a disaster, a big distraction for the entire team. We could have had guys in there at that spot. We could have signed a free agent earlier and kind of got him acclimated to the system faster and started getting him reps. But we waited till the last second to do this. It's just it was a mess. So terrible decision by Jacksonville to bring him in. Devon Hamilton, he got cut. This was a head scratcher. He had a really good last game. I don't see what Carlos Hyde brings to the roster. Really didn't have a standout preseason. So I would have rather taken Hamilton over Hyde. Doug Coston, this was another cut that was a head scratcher. I definitely thought he could have taken Taven Bryan's spot, linebacker Quincy Williams. That really wasn't a head scratcher. He did have kind of plays where he shot to the ball and made tackles, but he just wasn't good in coverage and looked confused. So no surprise there. Jared Wilson, again, I like Jared Wilson. I think he's solid depth safety. But, I don't know why they gave Andrew Wingard a spot or Rudy Ford a spot over Jared Wilson. So that one, again, is a head scratcher. And then Lorenzo Burns in Houston, I think they could have – one of those guys I would have even rather had than Trey Herndon, to be honest, because I just don't think he's going to be an impact player for the Jags, and he'll hurt you with penalties. So some other cuts, Jeff Cotton Jr., he had a great preseason, just had made some phenomenal catches. I would have rather seen him on the roster, maybe in place of Jamal Agnew, as I had mentioned previously. Colin Johnson, that was unfortunate to see him get cut. Lots of cuts at the wide receiver position. I don't know why Urban Meyer brought all these guys on. I don't know what he was kind of shooting for. Maybe he just didn't think he was getting the right look with some of these wide receivers, but so I don't know. Jalen Camp was a rookie that we drafted this year out of Georgia Tech. He got cut, so that was a bit of a surprise. Just for me, I wasn't at camp. I didn't see him in practice, but to cut a guy that you just drafted, something must have just not been working right in the system. Tyler Davis and Ben Ellefson, they both got cut, tight ends. Tyler Davis we drafted, I believe, in the 2020 draft. No surprise there, really. He did catch a touchdown pass, but I just don't think Urban Meyer. I just think he was really kind of going with Manhertz and O'Shaughnessy and Luke Farrell, who we drafted from Ohio State. So I've heard that he wants to bring him back. Maybe he makes the practice squad. Ben Ellefson, again, I don't think he had a very impactful preseason with the Jags, so no surprise seeing him get cut there. But, yep, this is there were some head scratchers on this one, to be honest. But overall, it was okay. I wish some players had made the roster that didn't, but it's the way it goes. So this is the 2021 Jags 53-man roster and the cuts. Let me know how you feel about this year's roster and some of the cuts. Leave me a comment on the YouTube video or podcast episode. Subscribe to the channel as always, guys. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy. Go Jags, and I'll see you next time.
Duval! What's up, everybody? It's Andrew from the Jaguar Podcast. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, there's more content over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as always. And remember, this is a podcast, so you can find this pretty much wherever you find podcasts. There I'll be doing interviews of current and former Jaguars players, including Joe Schobert, DeJuan Smoot, Shaq Quarterman, etc. And I also do interviews of former Jaguars players, including Natron Means, Jimmy Smith, Tom McManus, etc. So be sure to check out the podcast, subscribe to it, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, go Jags, and I'll see you next time.